but now leave you questioning your own motives. You're not alone in this deeply human paradox. The recognition that draws you to this exploration right now is no accident. It's your soul's way of preparing you for one of the most profound revelations about the hidden mechanisms that have been operating beneath your conscious. Awareness systematically dismantling your joy before it can fully take root in your life. This week marks an extraordinary convergence of cosmic forces that creates what we can only describe as a happiness sabotage revelation portal. Venus forms a challenging square to Saturn, while simultaneously receiving support from a harmonizing trine to Jupiter, creating a rare energetic signature that illuminates the shadow patterns specifically designed to protect you from the very fulfillment you claim to seek. Imagine that your psyche operates like a sophisticated security system, with multiple layers of protection designed to keep you safe from perceived threats. However, some of these security protocols were installed during moments of deep pain or disappointment, and they've become so automatic that they now identify happiness itself as a danger to be neutralized. This week, planetary alignment acts like a master technician who can finally access the control room of this system, revealing not only how these sabotage programs run, but why they were created in the first place and how they can be consciously reprogrammed. The timing of this cosmic revelation is anything but random, and neither is your presence here receiving this transmission. Your higher consciousness has guided you to this understanding because your soul recognizes that you've reached a crucial turning point, where the old patterns of self-protection through self-sabotage no longer serve your evolution. The Venus-Saturn square brings uncomfortable but necessary awareness about how you unconsciously push away what you desire most, while Jupiter's supportive influence ensures that this revelation comes with the wisdom and perspective needed to transform these patterns rather than simply judge them, offering you unprecedented access to understanding the deeper psychology of your own resistance to joy and fulfillment. This is not merely another astrological transit. It is a divinely orchestrated intervention, designed to free you from the prison of unconscious patterns that have been masquerading as protection, but have actually been preventing you from experiencing the depths of satisfaction and contentment that are your birthright. Have you noticed a pattern where just as things start going really well in your life, you find yourself making decisions that create unnecessary drama or complications? Perhaps you've experienced the phenomenon of feeling guilty or anxious when you're genuinely happy, as if some part of you believes you don't deserve sustained joy. Maybe you've caught yourself criticizing or minimizing your own successes, or finding fault with situations that should bring you contentment. These are uncharacter flaws or signs of personal weakness. They re-sophisticated psychological mechanisms that were once designed to keep you safe, but have now become obsolete. Programs running in the background of your consciousness. The profound truth that this week's energies are preparing to reveal is that most happiness sabotage stems not from a desire to suffer, but from a deep, unconscious fear of the vulnerability that comes with genuine joy. When we allow ourselves to be truly happy, we become emotionally exposed in ways that can feel terrifying to parts of our psyche that remember being hurt, disappointed, or abandoned. The saboteur within is unevil. It's a misguided protector that believes if it prevents you from getting too happy, it can also prevent you from experiencing the devastating pain of losing that happiness. But here's what makes this week critically different from other periods of psychological insight. The cosmic alignment creates an optimal environment for not just recognizing these patterns, but understanding their original protective function with enough compassion to begin consciously rewriting them. The revelations that emerge won't be harsh judgments about your self-destructive tendencies, but profound recognitions of the innocent, protective intentions behind behaviors that have been limiting your capacity for sustained joy. If this understanding of happiness sabotage as misguided protection resonates deeply with your own experience, I invite you to acknowledge that recognition with your engagement. Let your like be a signal of your readiness to understand rather than judge these patterns. And if you're not yet part of our community of souls committed to conscious living here at 2B, and to exist. Consider subscribing as a declaration of your intention to transform limitation into liberation. To work consciously with these revelations and begin the process of reprogramming your relationship with happiness, I want to share 3 powerful practices specifically designed for this cosmic window. First, implement a happiness tracking protocol for the next 7 days. Each time you notice yourself feeling genuinely content or joyful, pay attention to what happens in your thoughts and behaviors over the following hours. Do you find ways to minimize the good feelings? Do you create problems or focus on potential negative outcomes? This awareness alone begins to interrupt the automatic sabotage programs. Second, practice saboteur dialogue sessions. When you catch yourself in the act of undermining your own happiness, pause and have a conscious conversation with that part of yourself. Ask it, what are you trying to protect me from? What pain are you afraid I'll experience if I allow myself to be too happy? Listen with compassion rather than frustration. Often, simply acknowledging the protective intention behind sabotage begins to reduce its compulsive power. Third, engage in happiness expansion exercises. Start with small doses of joy and consciously practice staying present with positive feelings without immediately deflecting, minimizing, or creating distractions. Like strengthening a muscle, your capacity to tolerate and sustain happiness can be gradually increased through conscious practice. The universe reveals the deeper patterns of happiness, sabotage through a language of unmistakable signs during periods of such intense psychological illumination. You might find yourself having conversations where others reveal their own struggles with allowing joy, creating a field of collective healing around this universal human challenge. Perhaps you'll notice repeated themes in movies, books, or social media that directly relate to self-sabotage and the fear of happiness. Dreams may become particularly revealing, showing you symbolic representations of how you protect yourself from your own fulfillment. This is also a powerfully creative time for rewiring your happiness set point, because your neuroplasticity is enhanced by these cosmic frequencies. Every moment, you consciously choose to stay present with positive feelings rather than deflecting them opens new neural pathways. Every time you catch a sabotage pattern and choose differently, you're literally rewiring your brain's relationship with joy and satisfaction. As we explore the nature of happiness, sabotage, and its protective origins, remember that these patterns developed during times when your psyche genuinely needed protection from disappointment or loss. If the sabotage mechanisms feel like they're intensifying before they begin to dissolve, understand that this is actually evidence that the transformation process is working. What appears as increased self-sabotage is really these old protection programs making their last desperate attempts to keep you safe from the vulnerability of sustained happiness. What one specific way that you sabotage your own happiness feels most ready to be understood with compassion rather than judgment? And are you willing to explore the original wound or fear that this pattern was designed to protect you from experiencing? We are never meant to navigate the complexities of psychological transformation alone. The beauty of this revelation period is that millions of souls around the world are simultaneously becoming aware of their own happiness. Sabotage patterns. When we support each other through the vulnerability of recognizing and transforming these mechanisms, we create a collective field that makes sustainable joy more possible for everyone. In this sacred moment, let profound gratitude arise for your courage to look honestly at the ways you VO unconsciously protected yourself from your own happiness. For your willingness to see these patterns as misguided protection rather than personal failures, and for the recognition that what has kept you safe in the past may now be keeping you from the very fulfillment you've been seeking. You are not broken for having developed these patterns. You are wise for being ready to transform them. Looking ahead through the remainder of this transformative week, the happiness sabotage revelations will continue building toward their peak intensity around Thursday and Friday, when the moon forms supportive aspects to the Venus-Saturn-Jupiter configuration. Pay special attention to any insights about your family patterns around happiness, success, and joy, as generational healing around these themes is particularly potent during this period. The weekend will begin the integration phase, where your new understanding of these patterns starts to translate into different choices and responses. The revelations coming to you about happiness sabotage aren't meant to shame or criticize you. They bring cosmic gifts designed to free you from unconscious patterns that have outlived their protective purpose. This week's planetary alignment is preparing you not just to recognize these mechanisms, but to develop a mature, conscious relationship with your own capacity for sustained joy and fulfillment. Trust the process, embrace the revelations with compassion, and know that every pattern you understand and transform brings you closer to the authentic, sustainable happiness that is your natural state. The answer to why you sabotage your happiness is finally becoming clear. And with that clarity comes the power to choose differently.